This is the KV-1S. This is a Russian Tier 6 heavy tank. And this tank is called a heavy, but it has the mobility of a medium tank. I mean, it has a 30 transverse speed. Its speed limit is 43. And the engine is strong enough to reach the speed, but acceleration is rather difficult. The turret speed is high for a heavy tank, and the armor on it is pretty low, especially for a heavy tank. I mean, 75, 60, and 60 is, if you learn to angle this tank, you'll get a lot more bounces, but any tier 6 gun can penetrate it. The view range is good, but not great, but for this type of vehicle it's okay. Signal range 440. It's a poor radio, but for a heavy it'll work rather well. The guns, you'll have a choice of two, although you're probably most likely going to go for this one, but we'll talk about this later. This gun has a penetration of 120, which for tier 6 is okay, but it's going to run into trouble with tier 7 and tier 8 vehicles. But it has a 160 average damage and a high rate of fire, so it can cause more damage. Its accuracy is rather poor, and the aiming time is very high. I mean, 2.9 is going to make this gun rather difficult to use. This gun, the 122mm, is rather interesting in that it's the most powerful gun available for tier 6 heavy. It has a 175 penetration, which is excellent, and a 390 average damage. Now 390, that's enough to one-shot a tier 4 vehicle and cause heavy damage to practically any vehicle it's going to come up against. But 390 is the average damage. And if you look here, there's a range of 293 to 488. And with the high penetration of the gun, you'll oftentimes get over 400. Now the accuracy is not bad. It's workable. The aiming time is going to be another problem with this gun, and you might want a gun lane driver to help reduce it. Okay, we're going to go into research next, because when you're coming from the KV-1, you're only going to have these 3 guns available. You're going to have the top radio available. The rest you're going to have to work for. And you're going to definitely want to use this gun to grind up all the experience points you're going to need for the rest of the research. And to use this gun more effectively, you're probably going to want to research this engine and the tracks before you reach these, because this vehicle has great mobility and can be used as a flanker. Once you reach the turret, you can research these 2 guns and go to the IS or the KV-1S. Equipment, you're definitely going to want a gun lane driver, as I said before. But you may want binoculars to help with the view range, and a camouflage net would not be a bad choice either. I use only armored piercing. A small repair kit is going to be necessary for the gun. Again, if it loses accuracy, it's almost worthless. It's going to be impossible to use. First aid kit for the gunner, because if the gunner dies, the accuracy is going to go way off. Okay, it's on the replay. I'll see you there. Okay, this is Redshire, and Redshire is a good map to snipe with. I mean, it is a camper's map. I mean, usually you move over into this area, into this woods area, and as you can see, the woods are covered with a lot of trees and brush. It makes it very easy for you to hide. And it gives you a good view of this area, and if you're lucky, this area where you'll find a lot of tanks, especially as you can see, these units are moving up into this area. That's generally where I go, because it's taking advantage of the camouflage that's available. Everybody's getting into position. We have a lot of good vehicles on each side. We have an M6. We have two KV-1S. Now this gun has a slow reload, but as you can see, it can dish out a lot of damage. And there's an artillery unit in plain sight, exposed. Why is it there? I don't know. He just deserved that to happen. There was no reason for him to be there. Here's a TOG. Those are just fun. They're just free XP and credits.
Armor is destroyed.
Just destroyed a Jada Panzer IV. Just blind shotted him. This gun really takes how you can play this gun. Just killed a Matilda BP. It can do a lot of damage, but not 700. There was another shot in there. Looks like two KVs got him, maybe other tanks. The TOG? I'm told it's a really rotten tank, but it's so much fun to play. Everybody makes fun of that tank. That's a good gunner. I don't know why that tank bounced a shot. I mean, it should be dead. Talk about luck. T-28. This gun. If this gun hits me, it's dead. like that, but even if that T-20 was at full health, it would not last much of a chance. T-40, again, not much of a chance with this tank. This gun is just deadly on tier 4s. And we can't get a shot on him. Must have hit the tracks. As of 8.6, the tracks count as space armor, so it just absorbs the whole shot. We're going to try for Top Gun, so we have to get closer to the enemy. We got to try to get one of those tanks down there. Got Top Gun. See if we can get the other vehicles. Probably not. Excuse me. Somebody. This just gives you a good idea of just how great this gun is. It's a really good tank once you know how to play it. But you have to realize it has some downsides. Has some problems with it. So on to the next replay. Okay, this is Sacred Valley. And this is the new map that just came out. And the great thing about this map is it has these villages over here, and they're all over this map, and they're great to hide in if you're in trouble. But I'll be going to this location, and this location gives me a good view of this area, and your teammates tend to go along this route or somewhere in here, and they'll lit up tanks in this area, and you can take pot shots at them from this location where I am right now. This is a tier 8 game, and this gun is still very effective against tier 8s. But you have to be wary of the armor, because this vehicle still has the same armor that was on the KV, and tier 8 guns are just going to tear it to shreds. Usually I do not last this long in this area, unless I'm in a smaller tank. Can't seem to get a shot on that M6 or that T25-2. We're going to try this T34-85. Took a big chunk out of him. All you can do is just take pot shots. Because there's really not much else you can do. If you just go straight out there, you're just gonna die. Yeah, the accuracy of this gun is a big problem. That's why I missed the T. See if we can get some more targets on these tanks. Just a bunch of them lit up. Couldn't hit him. That probably would have gone through too. His frontal turret armor is exposed. No way you're going to penetrate that. The team is pretty well defeated. I'm just going to go and mop up. There's some weak spots on that armor. No, just bounced. Try for another shot. No, it's not going to go through. That Black Prince is dead. Now SU just got him. We're already capping. We're already at almost 90%. So unless enemy's going to attack, it has to do it now or wait. The Eclair, this gun's just made to kill Eclairs. And they're so vulnerable. Well, personally I think it's a good tank, but it's not my favorite of the tier. It has a good gun, it has a good turret. It's just the armor lets it down a lot. I usually love to target these vehicles. With their weak armor, bullets just go through them like butter. But it does have its strength and its good parts to them, mainly the gun. And if you really learn how to use this tank, you can generate a lot of points with it. The rounds are expensive, and that's a really big drawback to this tank. And it makes it hard to generate credit. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, and please come back soon.